Imagine you are standing on the edge of a vast wilderness. The wind is cold, the ground is uneven, and somewhere out there a small, frightened sheep is wandering alone, lost, vulnerable, and in danger. Now imagine that this sheep is you. Today I am going to share one of the most powerful parables Jesus ever told, the lost sheep. But this is more than just a story from ancient times. This is the story of your life, my life, and the relentless grace of God that refuses to give up on us. In a noisy and busy world, it is easy to drift away from God's voice, away from peace, away from the truth. The parable of the lost sheep is not only about a shepherd finding an animal. It is about the God of the universe who searches for every wandering heart until he brings it back home. Stay with me as we explore what this parable means for your life today and how it reveals a grace so persistent that no failure, no mistake, and no distance can break it. Jesus told this parable in the Gospel of Luke chapter 15. The religious leaders were criticizing him for spending time with sinners. They believed that holiness meant separation from the broken. But Jesus painted a completely different picture. He describes a shepherd with 100 sheep. One of them wanders off. Rather than saying, "Well, I still have 99, the shepherd leaves the flock to find the one that is missing. This scene would have shocked his audience. In the culture of that time, sheep were valuable. A good shepherd would do whatever it takes to protect them, even risk his life. Think about when you have lost something precious, your phone, your wallet, or even a child in a crowded place. Your entire focus is on finding it. That urgency is the heartbeat of this story. Sheep do not get lost because they are rebellious. They get lost because they are distracted. In the same way, we often drift away from God, not because we outright reject Him, but because we get caught up in life, career, relationships, disappointments, or temptations. A young man spends more and more time scrolling through social media, comparing himself to others, and slowly loses his sense of self-worth. A woman pours all her energy into work, leaving no time for prayer or reflection, and one day realizes she has no peace. Distraction is a slow drift, but eventually you find yourself far from home. The most beautiful part of the story is this: the shepherd goes after the sheep until he finds it. He does not stop halfway. He does not wait for the sheep to return. He pursues. In Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 11, Jesus says, "I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep." This is grace in action. Grace is not passive. It moves, it seeks, it rescues. Think of a firefighter running into a burning building to save a child. The child may be too weak or too scared to move, but the rescuer will not give up until that child is safe. That is what God's grace does for us. When the shepherd finds the sheep, he does not scold it. He lifts it onto his shoulders and carries it home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors to celebrate. This is how heaven reacts when one soul turns back to God. There is joy, not judgment. When someone who has struggled with addiction takes the first step toward recovery, we do not shame them for the past. We celebrate the courage it took to turn around. God's grace is personal. He knows your name. He notices when you are missing. You are worth pursuing. Your value is not based on performance, but on the fact that you belong to Him. Grace is relentless. No matter how far you wander, He will come after you. Return is a reason for joy. Your comeback is celebrated in heaven. If you feel far from God today, pause and listen. The shepherd's voice is calling you home. Make time for prayer and scripture reading every day to stay close to Him. Reach out to someone you know who may have wandered away. Show them kindness without judgment. You may feel lost right now. You may think you are too far gone. But hear this: God is not waiting for you to crawl back to Him. He is already on the way to where you are. His grace is not a soft whisper. It is a relentless pursuit. The shepherd will find you, and when he does, he will not let go. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and put on notification bell for more inspiring and faith-uplifting videos.